cosmic spark struck by human hands quickly raged out of control. Spears of nuclear fire rained from the skies. Continents were swallowed in flames and fell beneath the boiling oceans. Humanity was almost extinguished, their spirits becoming part of the background radiation that blanketed the Earth. A quiet darkness fell across the planet.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 9 of Fallout History and Lore. Last time, we took a look at the last game to come out for Fallout, in Fallout New Vegas. In this episode, at the request of you guys, we're going to look back at Fallout 3's add-on content. Between January and August of 2009, Bethesda Softworks released 5 add-on or DLC packs for Fallout 3 for all platforms. These add-ons are Operation Anchorage, The Pit, Broken Steel, Point Lookout, and Mothership Zeta. Each pack adds new quests, items, perks, achievements, and other content to Fallout 3. The add-ons were initially released exclusively as downloadable content on Xbox Live and games for Windows Live, and were made available for the PlayStation Store starting with Broken Steel in September 2009, followed by the other add-ons in October. The first add-on to be released was Operation Anchorage. Released January 27, 2009, in this add-on, the Brotherhood of Steel outcasts are trying to acquire advanced military tools. The only way to enter the vault containing these relics appears to be completing a virtual reality simulator, similar to the one you find in Fallout 3. However, none of the outcasts have the computer interface that's required, the Pip-Boy 3000, to enter Operation Anchorage. There's evidence that the outcast may have tried to use one of the Gary clones, somehow obtained from Vault 108, but the fact that the clone was found dead, and some of the outcast members' dialogue saying that their results proved limited.
Knock, knock, Olin. Got a new best friend for you.
What?
Yep, let's hope you treat this one better than the last guy, huh?
Go to hell, Sibley. You know that wasn't my fault.
So it comes down to the Lone Wanderer to go inside and complete the simulation of perhaps the greatest battle of the Fallout universe, the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska, from occupying Red Chinese troops. The simulation is set during the Anchorage campaign, which occurred between June 2076, when the T-51B power armor was first introduced, and January 2077, when the Chinese forces were completely driven out of Alaska. Evidence located in the Outcast outpost makes it clear that the simulation is not an accurate recreation of the battle in many important ways. However, these ways are never detailed but are blamed on General Chase, who is the military correspondent for the simulation program. Once the add-on is downloaded, the quest objective for Operation Anchorage will be activated by a radio broadcast stating,
"This is Defender Morrill. Any outcasts listening on this frequency report to Sector 7B, Bailey's Crossroads. This is a high-priority message. Backup is needed at our location. Any personnel listening on this frequency, please report at once."
A marker will be shown on the world map near the Red Racer factory. The add-on can be played at any time once the player has exited Vault 101 at the beginning of the game. After completing the simulation, the player is free to unlock the armory via terminal and also receives power armor training. Also, all the equipment inside is free for the taking without a karma penalty. In the simulation, the player is stripped of any equipment and weapons, excluding quest items, and is forced to utilize the resources supplied throughout the simulation's environment. The Chinese Red Army is everywhere, and the player has to secure the surrounding mountainside, and then fight their way into the Chinese base. The player has to use a lot of their standard combat skills, along with several new tools that are only available in the add-on. These include interactive strike teams under the player's command, as well as unique armor, weapons, and other exotic gadgets. Throughout the simulation, various pieces of intel are also hidden that yield the Covert Ops perk when all are collected. The player is also introduced to a new healing system inside the simulation. Rather than stim packs, there are health dispensers that will completely replenish your health, like some of the old school first-person shooters. Ammo dispensers can also be found in many places. Corpses cannot be looted. However, all bodies disappear in a blue static animation after a few seconds after they die. If you're quick, however, you can devour them with the cannibal perk. There's no need to actually loot anything, as weapons and armor have extremely high HP values and don't degrade. The player is also unable to pick up clutter or open containers. He or she can only interact with objects that are blinking red and have a humming noise associated with them. After exiting the simulation, the Lone Wanderer is allowed into the armory and can grab anything he or she wants. Opening the armory spurs a heated discussion between Defender Sibley and Protector McGraw, which culminates in Sibley and most of the other outcasts starting a mutiny against McGraw and Olin. This is a battle that the Lone Wanderer can decide with no negative reputation to the outcasts, so long as they do not attack either McGraw or Specialist Olin. Completing the simulation gives the player access to the Gauss rifle, a Chinese stealth armor suit, and a winterized T-51B power armor set that looks pretty cool. The second add-on released for Fallout 3 was titled The Pit. Released on March 24th, 2009, the first release for some players was broken and completely unplayable due to missing textures and freezes. It was then re-released on March 25th. In this add-on, the player character journeys to the industrial raider town called The Pit, located in the remains of Pittsburgh. In contrast to Operation Anchorage, The Pit involves a more traditional quest line with several morally ambiguous choices. The main quest involves the player character taking on the role of a slave in order to investigate rumors that the raider boss of the Pit has discovered a cure for mutations that have plagued many inhabitants of the Pit. Although Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania was not directly hit by an atomic bomb during the Great War, the water from the nearby rivers soon became highly irradiated. The confluence of the 3 rivers in the area yielded disastrous results and changed the area's inhabitants in mysterious ways over the following decades. 20 years before the events of Fallout 3, Owen Lyons led the Brotherhood of Steel's expedition into Washington, D.C. through the Pit. In one night, the Brotherhood swept through and destroyed the original raider force occupying the town and rid the surrounding area of, quote, other scum, killing anything that puts up a fight. This event is chronicled as the Scourge. As they cut through the raiders, the Brotherhood also saved several young children, among them Paladin Kodiak, who had not yet been mutated in the extent that the Pit's adult inhabitants had. All the rescued children were brought into the Brotherhood of Steel as initiates. Kodiak is the only remaining survivor from the initial group of rescued children that's still stationed at the Citadel, and probably just still left alive. When the Pit first loads, the player is informed of a new radio distress signal from a runaway slave from the Pit named Renner.
To anyone who can hear me, my name is Werner. I come from a settlement to the north. I have information of great value to anyone willing to help me free my people. Please, help us. This message repeats.
Who informs the Lone Wanderer that he needs help in retrieving a cure for the mutations that plague the town developed by the Pit's raider boss, Ashur. In order to successfully reach Ashur, the player has to give up their gear temporarily. The player then is able to familiarize himself with a new weapon, the Auto Axe, and complete a fighting arena called the Hole. The Pit is accessed through an underground railroad and has its own map separate from the Capital Wasteland. The town itself consists of a large dungeon area called the Mill, and an abandoned steel yard and settlement which is divided into 2 districts. You've got downtown, which is inhabited by slaves, and Haven, which is kind of like an uptown occupied by their masters, the slavers. When the player finally earns a meeting with the Pit's leader, Lord Ashur, a former Brotherhood of Steel soldier left for dead during the Scourge, the player is given the choice of either siding with the escaped slave or Ashur. Unlike other decisions in Fallout 3, there is no karmatic penalty or reward for choosing either side, as each side has both good points and bad. Alright guys, well this wraps up the first half of the expansions for Fallout 3. I was going to do them all in one video, but there's just so much to each expansion, and I really want to go in and talk about the stories, because they're very interesting stories and they're very well done. Operation Anchorage, me personally, wasn't my favorite expansion, but The Pit was very well received, and I actually have yet to play that one. So I'm going to be loading up Fallout 3 soon to give that a playthrough. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel or TGN for more gaming goodness, and as always, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.